Hello. As to you people that watch me, I don't know. Uh, as you can probably see, I'm Norwegian and Norway is in Europe. Shocker. So I decided today because my last European reacts to you know that Europe versus USA war, internet war. I have decided to make another video. For all of you that watched my last video, I fixed so it's not fucking zoomed out. Well, yeah, like zoomed in, like that shit. Sorry for that. Yeah. Uh, so yeah. Uh, well, actually, it's technically zoomed in. This is what I actually see, but I'm gonna hide it for a little bit in the screen. But anyways, I'm gonna yeah, uh, I should probably get right into it. So yeah. This fuck. Uh, fuck. Wait. There. Okay. I think this should be. It's not. Anyways, uh, like and subscribe, please.
In the US versus in EU.
Oh yeah, that's so freaking true. Like, if I punch my wall here, I don't think it's gonna break like at all. But that's funny because like at my school it used to be like a open concept thingy. Like I'm going to middle school and like it used to be a open concept thingy where like movable barriers between classrooms, right? And but then they found out that that was a horrible idea because like then you could just hear from other classes and it all was a mess. So they would put up like permanent walls, but those wasn't. But of course they didn't have the best budget, so they ended up with like shitty paper walls, kinda like in the USA. So it happens from time to time when people punches uh, uh, holes into the wall there. Yeah, it's shitty, but it's weird to think that in the USA that's basically every wall.
Punching a wall in the US versus in EU. Europeans, when they see Americans, no free healthcare. Europe is asleep. These are called chips, and these are called. No, they're not. We are not asleep. I feel bad for you, said Europe. I don't even think about you at all, said America. Americans, when it's 90 degrees outside, versus Europeans when it's 90 degrees.
If you don't get it, that's, Fahrenheit is different. If it's 90 degrees here, yeah, you're literally 90 degrees Celsius. You're literally gonna boil. Well, this is maybe also about how Americans have like been used to. I don't know if this is it's maybe a joke about both, but like seriously, like if it's 90 degrees Celsius, you're fucking done. Like I'm not exaggerating. That's like deadly. Like, seriously, deadly. Not like, oh, you might be able to go around for a little bit with like, I'll just drink a little bit water or shit. No, that's just ridiculously hot. Like, you can't survive that.
Who even uses Celsius? Like, how extra? Places which use Celsius versus Fahrenheit. You.
Yeah. dumbass. Well, is, wait, is it only US? Doesn't Myanmar and Li- no, or is the other country? Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
You guys are extra.
But yeah, like honestly, Celsius is better. Honestly, like it makes more sense with like at least when you live in a bit colder places than like where when like it's freezing temperature, and also when you're making food, it's easy to remember when the water is boiling at 100 degrees. Yes, Celsius. 100 degrees is boiling, so 90 degrees. Yeah, yeah, that's
Medieval
just
Europe
not.
versus medieval Europe in movie/documentaries.
Oh,
Europe,
really?
Americans naming
Sorry.
cities. Europe, new city name. The most expensive room per night in Europe versus America. Traveling to a different country in a movie starter pack. USA, Mexico, India, Canada, South America, Scandinavia /
Is this true? Because I don't, I don't know about. Well, I don't know about Finland. Scandinavia. Wait, no, okay. It's just well, yeah. It's I don't know about Eastern Europe. Well, I have been to Eastern Europe. Well, yeah, Latvia and Lithuania, and it was nice. Well, it wasn't exactly the best weather in Latvia for the one day I was there, but Lithuania it was very nice and sunny. And like Scandinavia, no, just no. I've been to every country in Scandinavia. I live in one of those, of course, and nope.
Eastern Europe, grass in USA versus grass in Europe. 25-year-old European versus 25-year-old American. I still can't believe America.
Uh, well, this is probably pro-US propaganda. Like, I don't know if all 25-year-old Americans can like buy a house in this economy.
This is 25-year-old American. I still can't believe Americans don't call car parks car park. What? Is that where you bring your car on weekends so it can play with other cars? No, it's where you park your car. Almost like an area of land. A lot, if you will, for parking cars. A parking lot. A car park. 100 acres of
Honestly,
pizza are served in
I'd say parking lot.
the US every day.
Honestly.
Who the hell measures pizza in acres? USA! How Europeans see Americans. I've got to embrace the flag. I've got to sniff the flag. I've got to lick the flag. I've got to wash the flag. I've got to date the flag. And I've got to be the flag. People who leave their phones set to military times are war criminals. How do you look at
Wait, people who leave their phones set to military are worker. Wow, I can understand.
405 and go, wow, I can understand that. Bootlickers, what's next? You gonna join the army? Recruit me? Americans be like, okay, I can't count past 12 actually.
Okay, I'm actually used to like the analog clock. So actually every time I watch like a digital clock, I'm actually translating it into my head because I learned like the analog clock before with like you know. You know those. So yeah, I actually translating it, but uh, it wasn't until this year when I was 15 that I heard that in US they use AM and PM. That's actually better than here because like for the at least in Norway we don't have a word for that when we talk about uh, like when we use like analog clocks. So yeah. But I think when like you ask the time, you get kind of 50-50 chance of like getting it explained in like analog terms or like military terms.
If I have a medical emergency, don't you dare call an ambulance. You better Uber my butt to the hospital because we are not about to pay
Yeah.
$5,000 for a ride in the Wii U wagon. Everyone outside the USA laughing nervously. What? Hey Canadians,
Yeah.
have fun at school tomorrow. Hey Americans, have fun paying your healthcare. Stop guys, we're friends, remember? Children, behave, else mother shall have to give the pair of you a bollocking. You couldn't beat 13 states, let alone 50. Lol, Australia doesn't even exist. Aussies are just spicier British people. What are flavorless British people? Just normal British people? What are Americans? Cheesy stuffed British people. Do British keyboards have a special pound key on their keyboards? How do you hashtag? Hashtag is over by the enter key. Don't you worry your little butt. What do American keyboards look like then? Oh, as an American, I can confirm this. European kids.
Wait, let me just see in my own on my own keyboard. Yeah, I don't have the pound there. Oh, but I have it on my 5. And I think yeah, you know that us with the thingy going through it. Is that yes? I don't know. Is on my 4 and other thingy. Oh yeah, it the thingy that's in the 3. Oh yeah, yeah, it's this thing is on my keyboard 4, and this thing is also. But yeah, this thing is on is there on mine. Yeah. Also those quote unquote thingies, they're on my 2 also. Yeah.
I can confirm this. European kids getting ready for another school year. American kids getting ready for another school year. Rural
Hopefully
town
no
in the
school
I hate this
shootings.
word, bruh. Rural town in the US. A policeman is approaching.
Wait.
Rural.
uh, I don't know. This is not how it looks like in Norway, so I can't comment on it. But I believe you.
Town in the US. A policeman is approaching you in Europe versus them approaching you in America. To be honest, Americans are so funny. They're like, OMG, there's a
Okay, I get a little bit nervous here when like a police or a guard, I guess, on like shopping mall here in Norway. It's called Vector. I don't know what it's called in English, but anyway.
concert near my house. It's like a 3 hours drive. And Europeans are like, what? A 3 hour drive? Are you kidding me? I'm not going to France for that. Australians crying in the distance. Invent a new sport. Spread it globally. Be bad at it. Invent a new sport. No one else plays it. Declare world championship. An American pickup in Europe. Why is it so fat?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, people get to the place.
Pickup in Europe. Why is it so fat? The American who thinks that America sucks is moving to Europe. The European who thinks that Europe sucks is moving to America.
Who are like I want to like maybe live there for a few years just to experience it, but like Europe is better in my personal opinion.
America sucks is moving to Europe. The European who thinks that Europe sucks is moving to America. Europe. Americans are so uncivilized and violent. Also Europe whenever someone scores a goal in soccer. It's football. To
Yeah, it's football.
be honest, it's kind of funny how so many Americans are convinced that every house over like 10 years old has a ghost. This house is 100 years old. People have died in here. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it's some houses here that's so old, but those I live in is like 20, 30 years old. But anyways, you know, can of course like with a growing population we have had, our population isn't growing that fast anymore. There, it's only growing with immigration now, I think. But anyways, yeah, we have a lot of new like suburban houses, but it isn't like built in one like swoop like in the US with like one project that built like 2,000 new homes. It's like sometimes like they just build one and then another one short by blood, yeah, more, or it's like smaller scale projects like that makes maybe 10, 20 houses.
Okay. Yeah, but in Europe, when they're like, someone has died here, they mean like 4 generations have lived peacefully and passed up old age in this home. In America, someone died here is like, some dude locked his mum in the basement and she starved to death. People in Northern Europe with 12-degree weather. When Americans complain about heat, Europe, I'm in my 30s and don't have a car. We don't to death. People in Northern Europe with 12-degree weather. When Americans complain
Well, it isn't that cold in the summer. Well, it has actually cooled down in the last years. I remember like since between like 2018 or something and like 2021 or something. I don't remember. It was a string of very hot summers that was, boiling, but the last years it has
about
been
heat,
that
Europe.
bad.
I'm in my 30s and don't have a car. We don't care. Get the bus. USA. I'm in my 30s and don't have a car. If you speak to us again, we will call the police. US sports fans.
Really?
Mix us together in the crowd. It's all good. European fans.
Filthy,
Me, an
filthy patient. Get away because poverty is your own fault. We're really good people, isn't we?
American trying to chum up with the Europeans. The Europeans. 20-year-old American boys. Mom, can I drink a beer? No, you are way too young. 15-year-old European boys. Dad, I'm getting a beer with the boys. Can I join? Americans, when Americans make fun of the United States. Americans, when Europeans make fun of America. Europeans to Americans. Europeans to Americans when they need military support. How Europeans think of Americans who have a carrier.
Yeah, our government is pretty good, but like they fucking dropped the ball in military spending. Like it's just sad how our military is underfunded, like completely underfunded, like only 8,000 personnel. I'm not even kidding. And like the often it's like, what? Military is mandatory in Norway? Well, technically yes, but at least from what I've heard, like you get called in for examination where like you have to for example run and stuff. So I imagine you can just run a bit slower and then voila, you don't get called up. So yeah,
License.
not
American
really,
chocolate. You think you're
not really that mandatory. American, you think you're better than. I've heard a lot of shit about American chocolate that it tastes like plastic and such. I don't know.
better than me. European chocolate. I am better than you. Americans be like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Americans be like, I'm gonna go watch a war movie. Americans be like, I'm gonna go eat an
I feel like I'm looking at myself in a mirror.
orange. Americans see a tree rodent and go, look, a squirrel. Americans be like, can you give me a glass of water? Europeans. I can't believe Americans don't use the metric system. Americans with 3 grams and a 9mm in their pocket. Europeans with cryptids. What whimsical creatures. Let's invite them in for tea. We, thank you. We'd love some tea. Let us celebrate. Americans with cryptids. This is the last forest you're haunting, you son of a... I'm gonna smash your corpse when I'm done. Europeans, when you ask them what they know about America, when you realize that the US is technically older than the UK.
What? Hmm? What do they mean? What? But I know pretty much about the US, so this doesn't apply for me really. Oh, I should maybe make a video where I like use that geography quiz thingy for like the United States. I do score like 60%. I don't remember, but In Europe, I score usually 100%.
America.
Anyways.
When you realize that the US is technically older than the UK. Europeans, when they see an American minding their own business. We are intellectually superior in every way. Europeans, strict gun laws. Americans, when Europeans find out that they create
No, you say that people that want to shoot people shouldn't be allowed to have a gun. No, what? No.
created the American. No, Americans microwaving their tea. Britons drinking instant coffee. Europeans. Let's make memes about Americans. That'll show them. Americans. I'm sorry. Who are you again? Brits making fun of Americans for using feet. Also Brits when they use stones for weight.
Oh yeah, the Brits are also weird.
When you are British and your American friend says, let's play football, but then they bring an ellipse-shaped ball. I am a bit confused. The beginning of the American Revolution. You owe me like $1. You'll have to kill me for it. We're experiencing heavy snow. Massive snowstorm. Duh, more vodka. Looks like spring, eh? When I see British citizens mocking the president, I just remember that in 100 years they went from ruling 1/4 of the world to living on an island the size of Michigan. So this is an American translator for what Americans say and what it means. I'm afraid of Americans. This is super real. Let's get coffee sometime means goodbye, I like you. Or
Okay,
let's stay in
bye.
touch means goodbye, I don't like you that much. Today I learned Americans call a knob of butter a stick of butter. Wait, we call it a knob too. Who the hell calls it? We call it a knob. What? Those Americans are terrible with all of their shootings that happen. Meanwhile in Europe, Americans, when you tell them European isn't a country.
European isn't a country. Yeah, no, it's multiple. And it's Europe, not European. Anyways.
Confused, Oonga Boonga. American drivers trying to navigate the narrow streets of an old European city. How Europeans think Americans get to work. Literally true. POV. Point 2
But it's true though, right? Right?
seconds after arriving in the USA. Americans. Why do Europeans think they're better than us? Europeans. USA.
That's fun in the
France,
US.
help me. France. Can't, I'm broke. It's against the British. France. What are Europe and America's views on gun safety? Europe says guns should be highly controlled and used only by responsible adults. America says if their age is on the clock, then they can use a Glock. Americans see USA versus USA in reality. Olive oil Europe versus butter Europe. Europe every couple decades. Father, I crave violence. Aliens visiting the United States versus aliens visiting Eastern Europe. Driving directions in Europe, 1922. Drives on the left, drives on the right. Mixed.
Mixed. Yeah, I've heard that about Austrians in Austria drive or left. Iceland and Sweden would shift actually pretty late. Like I think Sweden changed in 1967 when it was like 500,000 cars on the road, and it was a huge deal. And Iceland switched 1 year later in 1968, I think. But yeah, it was kind of last chance to switch. And of course, they have land borders, so it's a good reason to change. But it isn't that big of a deal for Iceland, but because they didn't have land borders. But I don't know.
Mixed. Average USA hospital visit. This is horrible. This man has no insurance. I'm on it, doctor. They pushed him off. They killed him. Australian arrested in Australia. Australian arrested in Europe. European arrested in Australia. Toilet in Europe versus
the
toilet in India. Versus Amber Heard's toilet. Speed cameras anywhere else.
What?
Speed cameras in Eastern Europe. How Americans see Europe. It's too far away. We can't. Americans simply cannot conceive of how gloomy Europe is. Wow, so UK is horrible. Let's go. At 19 years old in America. Can I buy a bottle of vodka? USA. No, that's illegal and irresponsible. Can I go $50,000 in debt for education? We encourage it. American Impossible Challenge. Americans tried to name this country challenge. Impossible.
Oh, yeah, I know that thing. The fucking sea!
Americans literally have no
That's ocean.
banter. I don't know what country this is coming from, but we've probably beaten you in a war at some point. I'm American. Civil War. America. I'll kick anyone's butt. I'll kick your butt.
What?
I'll kick your...
Americans have literally no bond. I don't know what countries is.
a dog's butt too.
Well, the War of 1812, like USA invaded Canada, and the Brits stopped them and burned the White House. So yeah, I would say that's kind of a British victory.
I'll even kick
But you know, I don't know if that's a Brit, but I don't know.
my own butt. Remember that time it got so hot in some parts of Australia? The bottoms of people's thongs were literally melting to the asphalt, and people
What? Tongues? What the fuck is tongues?
still ask me why I hate summer. For Americans reading this post, a thong is a flip-flop. A flip-flop. Oh. Racism in Europe versus racism in America. Europeans memeing on Americans. Europeans being memed on by Americans. Anti-curfew riots in the Netherlands. America. Europe. Netherlands. Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the Americans.
Anti-curfew riots in the Netherlands. What the fuck is it? I don't know why it's curfew in Netherlands.
Europe is better because we have social benefits. That's only possible because the US rebuilt Europe. So the evolution of cars for USA,
yeah,
Germany...
but that doesn't explain why the US don't have those social benefits. Wow, it really evolved a lot. Wow.
Russia. 100 years in the future. USA Michigan versus Norway. How the rest of the world sees the USA. Los Angeles. What? Disney World. Yeehaw.
I don't see USA like that.
New York. Being bilingual in America versus being bilingual in Europe. I thought it would be the opposite. No, it has to be, right? It's the opposite. Europe.
Yeah, most people here are bilingual because, you know, English. We need to be able to speak to Americans and also would like use that as a command language. So yeah, I think most people in Europe is bilingual because I speak English. You speak English because that's the only language you know. I speak English because that's the only language you know.
So
Yeah.
good they made a sequel. History books. History books if Europe had natural resources. Salesman slaps the USA. You can fit so many idiots in this bad boy. Hunting in Mexico versus hunting in Australia versus hunting in USA. Everything's better with explosives. I've always scoffed at those. OMG, Europe is tiny post. But we just took the wrong exit driving back to our cabin and we literally ended up in Norway and decided to just stay for dinner. So yeah, this just happened again. There isn't even a sign that says welcome to Norway. You're just there all of a sudden. I could miss an exit.
Okay, we probably should set up some welcome to Norway signs at all the roads. But of course, like it's the main roads have like duty infrastructure because like you still have to pay duties.
And still stay in my state for another 8 hours. Americans, cricket is a dumb game. USA wins one match. Americans. Oh, mercy me. I keep forgetting I'm in the colonies. My favorite post. Please tell me that people in Britain actually call the USA the colonies. We call you the colonies. Yeah.
Where is he from? What the fuck?
Call you the colonies. Europeans. I drove 40 minutes to the Netherlands for some groceries and then popped into Germany to see some of my relatives before driving back home. Americans. I was in Florida. I drove for 9 hours. Now I'm still in Florida.
Yeah, but those like have to be in border regions though. What the fuck is it that my parents are doing? What the fuck?
I have a deep respect for Scotland because I was at an Ireland versus Scotland football match and their chant was, "We hate England more than you." One time at a Germany versus Scotland game, some German fans started the "Stand up if you hate England" chant and the whole stadium stood up. What did we do? What didn't we do? Does this mean that England is the US of Europe? Where do you think the US got it from? Go for a walk, the scenery will cheer you up. People in Eastern Europe. USA, we're going to make a League of Nations, Europe, and you're going to join it, right? USA. You're going to join it, right? But mom, can someone translate this? I don't know British. I'll do my best. Ahem. Hey yo, ma. It's mum, not mum. It's chips, not crisps. It's fries, not chips. It's color, not color. It's soccer, not football. Wrong. Why is it cancelled in the UK but cancelled in America? Oh, I actually know the answer to this one. American newspaper ads charged by the letter, so a lot of people would eliminate unnecessary letters like the second L in cancelled or the U in color. Some of these spelling changes were used so often that they stuck, and now Americans just spell some words differently. In summary, Americans spell things weird because of capitalism.
Is that true?
Another weird Australia fact. We are the only country that ever cancelled a boat race due to the lake being wet. Please elaborate. The Henley-on-Todd is a screw you boat race made to poke fun at the English's Henley-on-Thames. The Todd River is dry most of the time, and as a result, it hosts the only dry...
Vad är det du driver med? Ge mig de andra, vad är det du har drevet? Vad galt med det? Ge mig det! Ge mig det! Ge mig allt! Ge mig allt! Ja, allt! Vad är det du driver med? Vad är det? Vad är det? Kan inte... Bara ut! Ut! Bara ut! 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 Yeah, that just happened. My parents are fucking idiots. They were like going around and just tearing off the walls like some childhood drawings from me, and they're like, I'm a if. Ah! Vakta lavadet! Oh my fucking goodness, I hate my parents! Vakta! Pallavak! 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 Pallavak då! Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, what the fuck is wrong with them? Oh my goodness. My parents are the worst. I don't feel comfortable with them around. The fucking assholes. And they're like crying, you don't like we're tearing off your stuff and destroying it. And you did you call or something? You should go. Yeah, they're the worst.
Drive River Regatta. Behold the chaos. UK. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. USA. Colonies. But what about that shadowy place? You must never go there. Americans. Talking
What?
colonies. But what about that shadowy place? You must never go there. Americans. Talking smack to the US. Other Americans. Yeah, we suck. Europeans. Talk smack about the US. Americans. America. Europeans. Universal healthcare. Americans. Europeans asking Americans where Black is. Europeans when Americans ask where Nebraska is.
Mm. Fuck. I don't know. Fuck. I don't remember.
British cheddar versus American cheddar. Europeans arriving in NYC, wondering why the homeless dude pooping in a 7-Eleven cup wasn't included in their pamphlet.
What? This was not included? Nice additional.
Europeans, when someone mentions American healthcare, you'd rather spend taxes on guns than healthcare? Laughs in public healthcare. How Europe sees USA versus how USA sees Europe. Yay, I'm glad we are just England. That's nice. I think Americans have spent long enough making fun of British accent. We need to. Yay, I'm glad we are.
That's not Norway, that is Greenland.
Just England. That's nice. I think Americans have spent long enough making fun of British accent. We need to stop making fun of our own accent. Americans be eating crayon berries. Americans be paying $20 for a crate of water bodies. Americans offered 2 choices. They have no real preference between like 2 dozen matter. I don't think American filmmakers realize how huge London is, because you sure have the London Eye and Houses of Parliament, but when you say London has fallen, what? So the Nando's in Catford is in flames. The Tesco in Peckham has descended into chaos. We have states bigger than your entire country. Europe, but without the... Guys, you're literally killing me. Well, thanks whoever made this meme.
But without the... That's not true.
Japan, the
Hello,
USA,
Ma.
fighting in Europe, fighting in Africa. The State Department nailed my girl's passport. Want to know just how big Texas really is? This is actually mind-blowing. I don't get it. That's Europe inside Texas. Texas isn't actually that huge, is it? France, United Kingdom relations. England, screw you. France, screw you. History of the Middle East, history of Europe, history of USA. History of USA is like a DLC of Europe history. Why divide people by irrational things when you could divide them by whether their word for cotton candy is valid or not? Examples: American English, cotton candy, good. British English, no, we don't call it fairy floss, we just call it candy floss, and that is valid. Spanish and German, sugar cotton, good. French, daddy's beard, not valid. I'm sorry, the French call it...
Kinda had that.
But what? Americans explaining why they don't want free healthcare because they get to skip the waiting times. Europeans with identical insurance at a fraction of the cost because it has to compete with the free one. Napoleon wants money for war with England. Thomas Jefferson wants to purchase Louisiana. British bank offers to lend Thomas the money. Thomas Jefferson borrows the money and buys Louisiana. Declares war on Britain with the Louisiana money. We can do both metric and imperial measurements. It's not difficult at all. Europeans making fun of Americans for using imperial...
So they've
lend
funded
Thomas the money. Thomas
Brits
Jefferson
funded
borrows the
war
money and
against
buys
them.
Louisiana. Declares war on Britain with the Louisiana money. We can do both metric and imperial measurements. It's not difficult at all. Europeans making fun of Americans for using imperial measurement. Americans running the 100-meter dash. Buying liters of soda, grams of drugs, and kilos of other drugs. British versus American. Favorite, and spelled very incorrectly by the American. Prince Harry officially renounces British residency. Lists US as his new country on document. A literal British monarch changing his alliance to the United States. We've never been more packed.
Treason.
Afternoon. Hey, how are you? Fine, how about you? I'm good. You're from Maine? I'm rotated in Europe right now, so the 1900 miles away threw me off. Where's that? Maine or Europe? Europe. Where the hell is that? It's across the ocean. The USA shouldn't police the world. Totally agree. That includes removing troops in Europe, letting Europe defend itself. But I won't be able to afford all of my social policies then because...
Yeah, like yes, should probably be policing the world, but like more restraint though. Yeah, government should really spend more. But oh, what a sad face. Yeah, we have to spend more on army, the military.
Because increased military spending. Wait, why are these memes like on America's side? I'm British! No! Forget this meme.
Yeah. I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. Bye.